Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a short version of Are You In? Now, I'm saying this because this particular album that I'm going to be talking about today, I don't have really a lot to say about, but one that I still wanted to talk about in retrospect. And in such, I only have this set to 10 minutes today, so I believe that I'm going to be able to get through it. So, today I'm talking about an album that came out early 2017, one that I've had a hard time figuring out exactly what I want to talk about, one that wasn't in my top 50, but one that I wanted to talk about in general. And this one is the Flaming Lips' newest album entitled Oczy Mlody. Hopefully I said that right. I believe it's a Polish term. I have no idea what it means. Anyways, Flaming Lips are an alternative / experimental / psychedelic rock band from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Their current members include Wayne Coyne on lead vocals, keyboard, theremin, guitars, and backing vocals, Michael Ivins on bass, keyboard, and backing vocals, Stephen Drozd on guitar, keyboards, bass, drum, backing, and lead vocals, Derek Brown on guitars, keyboards, percussion, and backing vocals, Jake Ingalls on keyboards and guitars, Matt Duckworth on drums, percussion, keyboards, and backing vocals, and Nick Lay on percussion, drums, and samples. They've had a shit ton of albums. And just to name them all, we got Here It Is in 86, Oh My God in 87, Telepathic Surgery in 89, In a Priest-Driven Ambulance with Silver Sunshine Stairs in 90, Hit the Deaf in the Future Head in 92, Transmissions from a Satellite Heart in 93, Clouds Taste Metallic in 95, Zyrika in 97, Soft Bulletin in 99, Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots in 2002, At War with the Mystics in 2006, Embryonic in 2009, and The Terror in 2013. Wow, a lot of albums. So you probably, the one that you may know the most is Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots. Though, me personally, I've never really listened to the Flaming Lips. My only real experience with them was The Terror. Because I was interested, I've always heard the name. I heard it float out, in high school and college, and I wanted to try my hand at one of these albums. And The Terror was the first one that I listened to, and my God, it was an experience. I had it in my top 50 of that year. I think I had it probably at like 50 or 51. And just like, it was an album that was very interesting, and one that needs to be listened to in general. Very atmospheric, very out there, and I appreciated that. It felt like an post-apocalyptic world where all these things were happening, and it was just really weird. So I remember reading like the albums that were coming out in 2017 right at the end of 2016 when I was working with Josh on my top 10 albums of 2016. And I was interested in this one, took a look, and, is it as weird as The Terror? Not necessarily, but it is still pretty friggin' weird. For me, it's another, it has a lot of atmospheric ideas, especially the title track, Oczy Mlody. It's a very atmospheric intro. You have something like Nigdy 9, Never Know, which is also a very atmospheric track. It's really weird. Literally, they're just saying never know, forever, yes, or something like that. And just so atmospheric and so weird in parts. There Should Be Unicorns is a synthesized song basically talking about all the things that they would like to have at a party, and it's talking about that there should be unicorns, ones with the purple eyes, not the green eyes, the purple eyes. As you can tell, there's a lot of really weird stuff on this album. Something like listening to frogs with demon eyes is literally them talking about being on a porch one day and listening to these frogs and like picturing them having demon eyes and having conversations with them, and what would they say and what do they know. Like Do Glowy is, I have no idea. One Night While Hunting for Fairies and Witches and Wizards to Kill is a story about fighting wizards and getting shot with their own gun because the wizard had a bulletproof force field, but then the witches and the wizards helped them out. Galaxy I Sink is about a song, I guess, is like picturing some like a person as their universe, if you will. Sunrise, Eyes of the Young is a beautiful song of talking about love and loss and pain and life and death. A lot of weird, fascinating songs on here. It's a very interesting CD. There's not that a lot I can talk about musically. I would say the biggest thing is it's really atmospheric in points, very ethereal, if you will. You have a lot of slow burning songs like How, where it's much synthesized chords and like reverberating piano, and then at points a interesting drum part comes in, one that you may not have expected by the sound of what the chords were giving you, the sustained chords were giving you. So it leads to some very interesting things. And when they're slow burners, they're really good. I really like How. It's a weird song, and it's talking about like trying to get a message across but not knowing how to. But the slow burn is very nice. I like it. Same thing with the Wizard song. It's a very slow burn, and multiple parts come in, come out, and it gives room for this story to grow. There's also a lot of songs where the music itself shifts around, and it makes for different ideas. So like for Sunrise, it's very at one point you have a part where it's Wayne Coyne singing with some reverberating piano chords and electric guitar lines and a drum machine. And then you get these other sections where there's a lot of strings and a lot of Beatles-like harmonies, which makes it for a very psychedelic kind of song. Same thing with Listening to Frogs with Demon Eyes. It has one particular feel in the verses, and then in the interludes is a little bit different. Galaxy I Sink is kind of that way too, but that one's a little bit too weird for me, and that's the biggest either draw or con that you're going to have with this album. Either you're going to find it very interesting in terms of music, and it will fascinate you with their tinges of atmospheric music and their tinges of psychedelic music, or you're going to be taken aback and not like this because of those things. There is no real middle ground. There's a couple of songs that I would say are more conventional, if you will. How is a little bit conventional, even though it's very atmospheric. I would say The Castle is pretty conventional, and it also has a very interesting topic, and it's talking about a person who one of Coyne's friends who committed suicide, and describing this person and saying that her brain was a castle, and unfortunately she lost the invisible war with her brain and passed away. Very heartbreaking song, even though the music itself is very upbeat, and the way that he sings it is very upbeat. We a Family is pretty conventional. It has Miley Cyrus on there for some reason. I don't understand their mashup that they have, but I've heard that Fleming List and Miley Cyrus have worked together at points in time. It's a little bit of a conventional song talking about just in general missing people and that we're all family even though we're not here with each other. It's a very interesting album, a little bit more conventional than The Terror, and because of that I probably would say I like The Terror better. But if you're looking for something out there with tinges of conventionalism in it, check this out. It's an experience, I would say. It's one of the weirder albums that I listened to of last year. I don't think it did enough for me to make it into my top 50, but it was one that I was going to mention in general at some point in time. come for the interesting stuff, stay for the weird lyrics and the wacky parts and the beautiful music and the more intricate arrangements. But it's not as good of an experience as the Terror. I'd say after this, listen to the Terror because it's really cool. And cool, I had 9 seconds left, so that was a very quick. Are you in? Of course, if you like what I do, of course, share this with your friends. Subscribe to my channel, like the video, comment on albums that you'd like me to talk about or things I can do better, and in general, just watch some more of my videos. So I'm going to, of course, put my subscription box there so that you can subscribe. I'll put a playlist of the album over here. I will put over here a playlist of my RUNs. And then I'm also going to put the Terror, if I can, over here. Because I think if you listen to the first one, might as well listen to the Terror as well. I think it's a little bit more interesting and more out there, and I think you would enjoy it as well if you liked this particular one. Friday, I'll have a new cover song, and Sunday, I will do another album from 2018, one that's going to surprise you a little bit. And then stay tuned for next week because I have some awesome videos coming out. But until then, I'll see you on Friday. Peace.